This is what a $900 resort in Bali thinks is acceptable for their beach, which on their website is described as pristine. We're gonna have a full tour and of course the full story. So let's get into it. Welcome to Bali? If you'd like to know the exact absurd rate that I paid for my stay or my next 5 videos in queue, please check out the description below. And if you're new here, hi there and welcome to the channel. My name is Kevin. I think that the world needs a bit more honest travel content these days, so I make airline trip reports, high-end hotel reviews, and cruise ship tours as well, all without invitation. I always film without the company's knowledge and I self-fund my own trips to be sure to get a true experience. Then I give you nothing more than my own personal, honest, unbiased opinion. Today is going to be a bit of a doozy, so I figured what better way to start this video than to show off the wonders and peacefulness of Balinese traffic. In all seriousness though, if you'd rather spend your time watching a more positive experience, feel free to check out my favorite movies in the playlist linked above. Or if you're new here, check out my new playlist featuring 15 or so videos which I think best sum up the channel. For the rest of you, buckle up, and welcome to Jumeirah. Including taxes and fees, this resort hovers in the $800 to $1,000 per night range for the lowest category of villa. At this new resort that opened in April of 2022, there are in fact only villas, 123 of them. Longtime viewers of the channel will know that this price range is a bit north of where I usually spend. The truth is, I booked this past January when I hit 25,000 subscribers. So yeah, it was a splurge, but also a category of hotel that I'd hoped to cover more in the future. So in that sense, it did fit. The property is meant to tell the story of the Grand Maja Bar Empire through water sculptures, symbolic forms, and modern touches throughout. When arriving, guests will be treated to a trio of musicians to set the tone for what should be a grand, festive experience. The design is a collaboration between Martin Grounds from Grounds Kent Architect and the renowned Jean-Michel Gatti from Deniston International. Gatti was also the designer of my beloved Four Seasons Bangkok, and his influence here actually surprised me a bit. The main structures here all feel a bit cold. A bit copy and paste, copy and paste. They're striking at first glance, but after a while, it just gets monotonous. Inside the villas though, they are beautiful, and I suspect that that's where his actual influence was. Upon arriving, guests are given welcome drinks and cold towels, and the check-in process will take place here in the reception area. I waited around 10 minutes for the receptionist to get to me and was honestly surprised that check-in wasn't just done directly in the villa, since it was ready. Before we go on the tour, let's briefly check out where we are. Bali, of course, is a famed tourist destination to the east of Indonesia's most populous island, Java. Of the over 4 million residents of Bali, the vast majority of them live in the far south of the island, in and around Denpasar, where the airport is. The Jumeirah is 45 minutes south of there, in an area that I'd say is best described as halfway between Jimbaran and Uluwatu proper. The resort occupies everything that you see here, with the reception area near the top right. As I learned when publishing my Apurva Kempinski video, linked above if you'd like to check it out, there's a bit of, let's say, disagreement over what is and what is not Balinese. So I'll mention that everything I'm saying related to the hotel's design is coming directly from Jumeirah. Don't shoot the messenger. As we head down to the beach and pool areas through the mid-central artery, let's see what they had to say. Quote, "Much of Bali's fascinating history revolves around the rise of the Maja Bar Empire, a long-established Hindu dynasty from the neighboring island of Java, which expanded to the island following the marriage of a Javanese princess to a Balinese king in 1342. The kingdom's architectural style was characterized by elegant pavilions that were used for bathing and socializing, along with terraced gardens and exquisite water pools. Incorporating traditional architectural elements of the Majapahit Empire, Jumeirah Bali has been designed to reflect a traditional Javanese Hindu water palace. The result is a sumptuous sanctuary featuring 3 swimming pools, the largest of which represents Kolam Segaran, the legendary reservoir of Majapahit. From here, guests are invited to take in the ocean views of Dreamland Beach and also the Indian Ocean. Okay, back to me. It's honestly very interesting to me that this was designed to be a water palace, since the Apoorva Kempinski was as well. I suppose Jumeirah decided to go for a more traditionally safe design route, whereas Kempinski took every aspect to a totally different level. The landscaping and gardening here is beautiful, but when I compare it to just about every other resort that I've been to in Bali, it, like the design, does seem to be one note. Give me some more color, some more visual interest, but that's just me. This area, which we are in now, is designed to be a reproduction of a relic from the Majapahit Empire. Let me be clear that this was all fabricated for this hotel. I have nothing against that, but they treat it very oddly. To get around the resort, buggies are the transport of choice, but to quote-unquote honor this space, they don't drive buggies through it. This is the central point of the entire resort. If the staff bought into that concept, perhaps it would make more sense. But my butler who drove me to my room more or less openly acknowledged that it's a gimmick. Okay, let's go down to the pools. They mentioned 3 pools and they're all in this area. Keep in mind that every villa does also have its own pool. On the right here, we can see the pool bar, which is open daily from 10 a.m. Jumeirah is a new brand for the channel and also for me in general. In 2004, it became part of Dubai Holdings and has a total of 28 properties dating back to 1997, with a few on the way. Their flagship being the iconic sail-shaped Burj Al Arab off the coast of Dubai. They currently have, or will soon have, 18 hotels and resorts in the Middle East, with 5 in Europe and 5 in Asia. Generally, I film during off-peak hours, lots of the time in the early morning. I also generally try to keep as many staff out of my videos as physically possible. But one group of staff here that were pervasive to the level that I've never seen at a resort in Bali were the security. They were literally everywhere. And they were clearly just not comfortable with me filming things, especially near the cliffs, even considering there were no guests around. Everything always does look better with sunny skies, though. This is where the resort's stairs down to the beach are supposed to be, but they are roped off. When I was driven to my villa, we passed a separate pathway that led directly down to the beach, and my butler told me, I'm paraphrasing, this is the path to our beach, but right now, we don't have a beach. I asked her what she meant, and she said the resort doesn't have beach access yet. That's very interesting, because when you Google Jumeirah Bali, this is one of the prompts that could possibly come up. Jumeirah Bali, access to the pristine beach. And let's keep in mind, this is a sponsored link, which means that Jumeirah directly controls the wording of it. So, they advertise as being a beachfront resort with access to a pristine beach. They talk about overlooking a beautiful dreamland beach. They have a path to a beach, and they have a stairway to the beach. But they don't have a beach. I wonder why. Oh. Maybe this is why. I'll give you more details on this in a bit, but this clip right now was shot at 12 noon on the day that I was checking out. I know that some might say that's all washed up from the ocean, and there's a garbage flow once every year in Bali. Okay, both of those are true to an extent, except no, they're not. It's not relevant to this today. You can see that this is what the beach looked like the evening prior. I didn't understand at the time how important these shots would be, so I don't have much footage from the night prior. The other thing, the annual garbage flow, that is actually an event. But the most recent one happened in November of 2022. My stay here at Jumeirah was in the spring of 2023. Anyway, I do promise you that I'm going to show you in detail about the beach later, and explain why it's not acceptable in every way possible. For now, let's head to my villa, by far the highlight of the resort itself. All villas in the Garden View Pool category are connected units, but when you're inside, you wouldn't know it. The design inside is truly beautiful. It's a neutral tone paradise with many luxurious materials and some subtle nods here and there to both Bali and the Middle East. The bed is also a beautiful centerpiece to the room. Though I will mention, I did have to ask to have the bedding changed before I filmed this, since there was an obvious stain on the original duvet. That said, it was indeed a very comfortable bed to sleep in, firm but plush and luxurious. Each villa features 2 large TVs, one in the bedroom and one in the living space. I was also a fan of just about everything in the room that was covered in leather, as it was generally hiding something. In this case, flaps on both sides of the end table to conceal the room controls and the outlets. Considering how much I did like the villa though, I found the blue washed fake wood floors in the bathroom to be a little bit tacky, and something that I'd probably expect at like a Radisson Blu. On each side of the bathroom is a full-size wardrobe. As you can hear, the doorbell rang as I was shooting this and I forgot to reshoot it later. I'm sorry. There were 3 wasps in the room and they came to help me get them out. While there is plenty of storage space, there isn't really that much open storage space, meaning you'll likely be looking at your suitcases for your stay, rather than being able to put them away properly. Surprisingly, all of the soaps and products in the bathroom were unbranded and in non-tamper-proof bulk containers. Luckily though, and surely as we would expect at a place like this, there was plenty of water in the villa and all in glass bottles. I really did like some of the small touches, such as the mother of pearl inlays in the mirror. On one side we have the washroom. And on the other side, a massive rainfall shower, which also leads out to an outdoor shower. No idea why they couldn't put a proper shower head here though. Also, it's very hard to see on camera, but in person, you can see directly to your backyard neighbor's pool, which means they can see you too. There is a shade for privacy to the indoor shower, but I reckon if you enjoy your privacy, then the outdoor shower is off limits for you. The sitting area, though, was so inviting and the furniture so comfortable. There was also a large writing desk able to satisfy all of your working, outlet, and stationery needs. Here we have the integrated minibar. For the price of the villa, honestly, I do think that at least the non-alcoholic drinks and snacks should have been on the house. Towards the front on the right is the well-stocked butler's pantry with a Nespresso-esque coffee machine, as well as a wide assortment of teas on offer. Just across from that was a separate powder room. Alright, let's head outside to the beautiful terrace. The outdoor area is nicely designed, functional, and very comfortable with a variety of seating options. The only downside out here is the pendopo, which is shared between the connecting villas. Somehow, the canopy amplified any sound being made below it and passed it over to the other side. You can hear it here. If you support content like this, or any of the content that I put out recently, or just honest travel content in general, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Those are the two easiest ways that you can tell YouTube that this video is worth your time. For anyone interested in supporting, my Patreon is also linked in the description below. Thanks for watching today. I'm not going to go into exhaustive detail, but there were a few things in the room that seemed like they weren't faring too well, considering how new this place is. And while I'm no expert, I have lived in Southeast Asia for about 10 years, and I know what mold looks like. This is what it looks like. Now we're going to head down to the Maja Sunset Lounge. I'll mention here, guests were encouraged to communicate via WhatsApp. Personally, I love when this is done effectively, since it generally acts as a way to remove language barriers. But here, it was just a mess. When I checked in, I was told their specialty restaurant, Akasa, didn't have any reservations open until 8 p.m. since they had a private event prior. You know it's a pet peeve of mine, but okay. Moments after I was in the villa, I text the WhatsApp number to request an 8 p.m. reservation. Originally they told me, no, nothing until 8:30. When I asked more as to why 2 minutes earlier I was told 8 o'clock, they just stopped responding. A couple hours after that, before heading down here, I also asked them to check the AC in the bedroom since it was not cooling below 27 degrees or 80 Fahrenheit. Note that the timestamps are 1 hour earlier than reality due to my current time difference from Bali. The Maja Lounge was nice, but woefully understaffed. After waiting to see a server for 5 to 10 minutes when I wanted to leave, I ended up walking to the adjoining restaurant to ask for my bill. I arrived at 7:55, and they had no reservation for me at 8 o'clock or 8:30. After about 5 minutes, I was led inside and given a table. So, would you like to know what the relaxing atmosphere in here sounded like? I'm going to play you a clip of the music that was playing. You can hear dishes in the background. If by any chance it's mute for the next few seconds, that's because there was a copyright claim on the song. They were playing house music the entire time, which was increasingly getting louder as the night went on. The menu, though, is a beautifully crafted menu with global influences. The service, unfortunately, was complete. I ordered a starter, a drink, a main, and a side dish. Moments after sitting down, I was given an amuse. Less than 5 minutes after that came the quote-unquote bread course. They actually called it bread course, which was a completely plain, steamed bao bun. The same that you'd get at any cheap Chinese breakfast buffet in China. The bread course came with my starter, which was a tuna tataki. The starter was very good. About 10 minutes after I finished my starter, my drink came. They talk up their house-infused gins quite a bit, and they had a Negroni flight. So, yes, I did know that the drink was smoked. I actually love smoked cocktails. But this was absurd. I don't think I've ever gotten a headache so quickly in my life, and the guy at the table next to me had a coughing fit for a good 40 seconds. So these 3 tiny little things, not chilled whatsoever. All 3 tasted of smoke and absolutely nothing more. I had a tiny sip of each and I didn't touch it anymore. When the server asked why I pushed it away, I explained. He said nothing and walked away. My main dish was the highlight of the meal. Honestly, some of the best cooked chicken that I think I've ever had. Along with that, I ordered the quote-unquote crispy miso sweet potatoes, which were soggy as. I asked the server if I could have a new portion since I wasn't looking for mashed sweet potatoes. He asked what was wrong with them. I showed him with my knife how mushy they were, and he said, quote, "That's how we make them," unquote. I mentioned they're supposed to be crispy. He began lecturing me about how potatoes are deep fried, and when they come out, some are crispy and some aren't, and that's how they are. That's how they're supposed to be. They cannot be crispier. I ate the chicken, quickly, didn't touch the potatoes, and asked for the bill. The Negroni and potatoes didn't appear on the bill, not by my request, but I didn't complain. At no point was there any sort of apology or anything. I even passed right by the head chef. Absolutely not a word. So I get back to my room, and now 3 hours after I asked them to check on the AC, the bedroom is still at 26.5 degrees. I text the hotel again. You can read for yourself if you'd like, but essentially they said, yes, the housekeeping did check it, and they said it was working properly. I called reception and asked to speak to a manager, and was told that the duty manager was on his way. He arrived around 15 minutes later. Immediately, obviously could tell the AC was not working, and called his technicians. 10 minutes after that, the AC was working. While he was there, he opened Pandora's box and asked how dinner was, and I told him in detail. I then had one very specifically worded question for him. Keep in mind, I'm asking it in this way, in the context of knowing that Bali has quite a few quirks, and a village hierarchy no matter where you are on the island. So some things that might seem obvious to us could be regulated in some way, shape, or form that we don't know about. I asked, quote, I know the hotel does not own the beach, but is there any law or local regulation that prevents you from cleaning it? He said, and I'm paraphrasing as closely as I can to the actual conversation, he said that they clean it constantly throughout the day. I then asked, why is it covered in garbage? He said, it wasn't. I asked again, so the hotel staff are constantly cleaning the beach? He said yes. I asked again, just to confirm that we're talking about the same thing, and then he changed his story. He then started to reply, well, the village cleans it. I asked, so the hotel doesn't clean the beach that you advertise being on? The village cleans it. He replied, the village cleans it throughout the day. Okay, I can see where this is going, so I just ended it there. So a couple of years ago, on my Ritz-Carlton Koh Samui video, which had a very dirty beach as well, not as bad as this one though, I had multiple accusations that the clips that I showed weren't actually from the hotel. So that's why I'm going to show you this all as one single shot, some of it sped up. Now you can see the full view from the hotel to the beach. So first of all, yes, I do understand that some debris washes up on shore. But then, why are there piles of trash, debris, whatever you want to call it, elevated multiple meters above the beach, literally directly next to the hotel entrance? This area here is not what I would consider the hotel's responsibility, but something I learned a long time ago in hospitality: perception is reality. If this was my hotel, especially if I was charging thousands of dollars per night, I'd be cleaning this area as well, regardless if it was my quote-unquote responsibility or not. Why? Why not? Why would you want your guests to see this and walk through it on the way to what should be a clean beach of your own? You can see the hotel stairs leading down to the beach over there. When I came by in the morning, there were 2 workers from the village. I don't think I need to point out that they're not necessarily equipped for the task ahead of them. All of this area, and further, is what I think is safe to say what would be considered the resort's beach. Mind you, this confirmed by the fact that this part of the beach had resort security on it. No cleaners, but security, sure, why not? So, this did not all wash up while everyone was sleeping. On the contrary, I'd say that most of the stuff that did possibly wash up overnight did so because the tide took it out the day before, because it's never been cleaned. In my opinion, for a hotel charging this much, they should have as many staff as it takes to clean this beach every single day. All day. 5 staff? 10 staff? You say it washes up every morning? Okay, congratulations, that's fine. Hire enough staff to keep it clean every morning then. This is not a $60 a night 2-star mom and pop. Ironically, it was quite fitting since there were hundreds of flip-flops. This is how, in theory, you would use the stairs if they weren't roped off. So, I showed you the beach yesterday. It was dirty. The beach early this morning you saw as well. It was even dirtier. Well, at noon, it was just as dirty. And now the ocean was taking more of that trash out to sea, likely to be redeposited overnight. Can I tell you one really, really convenient truth, though? The night after this, I stayed at the Anantara Uluwatu. I knew that it was kinda close, but I didn't realize how close it was as a crow flies. Literally, less than a mile between the two, both facing the same direction. The Anantara doesn't have its own beach per se, but let me show you what the water and the rocky areas below did look like. And you tell me, in the comments below, if it's the same amount of debris. In fact, from the Anantara, straight ahead, you can see the Jumeirah and its beach. And you can even see it's still covered in debris. And for those stragglers who are saying in the back of their mind, well, when the tide comes in at the Anantara, of course the debris is going to come in as well. Well, here's high tide. Have I gone overboard on explaining this beach in this video? Absolutely. Why? Because I don't take saying such poor things about a hotel lightly. Not only do I want to be sure that what I'm saying is correct, I also want you to see the full picture and the full set of circumstances. Then, after you watch this video, if you're okay with the beach looking like that, then that's fine. If you've been to the Jumeirah since my visit and only saw a clean beach, that's even better. That's what I want. I just wish I had the same. Okie dokie, let's head to breakfast. For a hotel like this, the breakfast spread was sad, at best. I'll let you take a look around at what's on offer, and I'll just note that all of the setup just felt kind of temporary. It was as if when they designed this restaurant, that no one ever told them that they were going to have to put on a buffet every day. If you want to see some Bali resorts that I've reviewed in the past with incredibly clean beaches or spectacular spreads for breakfast, check out any of these linked in the playlist above. It really would seem that the hotel just specializes in soggy potatoes. Service here, just like last night, was slow due to a lack of staff. There was an additional a la carte menu with a limited selection of basic eggs and French toast and the like, and those dishes took 25 and 35 minutes respectively to come out. And in a place like Uluwatu, which, is just a little bit windy, I think they might want to find a different solution for the black pepper. Last up we have the spa. One of the staff led me around. There was a multitude of different treatment rooms as well as a full hammam. I'll let you take a look. Okay, so congratulations to all of us, we made it through. A few final points. First, I paid almost $1,000 United States dollars to stay here for one night. And the beach they advertise as quote-unquote pristine, I couldn't even walk on barefoot, let alone enjoy time on. And the management was just completely delusional about it. Secondly, perception is reality. So, let's forget about how the beach got dirty. Let's say it absolutely doesn't matter. If aliens from another galaxy put that crap there when no one was looking, doesn't matter. What matters is that during my stay, not only did the hotel do nothing about it, but they misrepresented it and the manager lied to my face about it. Mind you, when I checked out, not a peep was said about anything. No, how was your stay? No, sorry for your villa trouble. Nothing. I have had my fair share of crappy hotel experiences in my life. But I have to say, honestly, this is the first time that I've ever felt actually offended by a stay. From the beach, to the management attitude, to the responsiveness of the staff, the argumentative waiter, the mold in the villa, the brand new villa, the understaffing at the lounge and the breakfast restaurant, the mixed bag of food and drink quality, the overbearing security, where does it end? It is a damning representation of exactly what happens when you combine an absent management style with a haphazard training method. If they've cleaned up their act, congratulations. If somehow my night was the only night when the beach looked like that, and when the hotel behaved like this, well then, at the very least, every guest that was there that night should have already been fully refunded. So, lovely video, eh? I hope you enjoyed it for the drama, if for nothing else. Frankly, I dreaded making this one, and I'm just glad that it is done. It has truly sucked the life out of me. If you'd like to see some more positive takes coming up from Bali, I'd encourage you to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe so you don't miss out on the other 4 resorts I have coming up in the weeks ahead. Thanks for bearing with me on this one, and thanks for watching to the end.